So, uh, have you ever stopped to think about how the online platforms we use every day, for connecting or getting information, how they've kind of morphed? It feels like they've become something much more complex, almost like a stage, right? For a sort of daily performance. What really happens when our digital interactions start feeling less like sharing and more
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
well, constant protagonism. Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. We're exploring a really interesting book called commentatori della domenica
Hmm.
that translates to the Sunday Commentators.
Hmm.
Our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights, the most important takeaways from this book. It's by Alberto Maestri, Gloria Roselli, and Giorgio Triani. And they really take a hard look at the sociology, you could say, of online commentary, specifically on places like LinkedIn and X.
Yeah, and what's great about it is the critical lens it offers. It really helps you understand not just what's happening online, but maybe more importantly, why it matters for, information, identity, all of that in this digital age.
Okay, so let's unpack the book's main idea then. They argue that these platforms, which started out for information exchange, for connection, they've changed into what the authors call palcoscenici della chiacchiera digitale,
Hmm.
which means basically stages for digital chatter. So it's not really just about sharing news anymore, is it? It's about the performance around the sharing.
Exactly. That's the core shift. And the authors, they don't just state it, they really navigate this landscape. They identify these kind of human archetypes that you see everywhere online now. Think about how every post, every comment can feel like a performance. We're chasing engagement, right? Likes, shares. The book digs into things like trash de pastira, which is keyboard trash,
Yeah.
essentially, and also this idea of algorithmic narcissism, where the platform itself kind of encourages this constant self-promotion. It creates this feedback loop. We all end up maybe a bit more self-absorbed online without even realizing it sometimes.
Hmm. So it sounds much bigger than just a critique of, say, bad behavior online. It's presented as a vivace e inquietante ritratto della società contemporanea. A really lively but also unsettling picture of society right now. It makes you look at our collective behavior, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And what's fascinating is how the book explores this balance, or maybe imbalance, between what they call protagonismo quotidiano, that's the daily protagonism, us putting ourselves out there, and the deriva dell'informazione, the information drift.
Yeah.
Where does the actual information go in all this noise? So for you, the listener, it really pushes you to ask, what does this mean for the information you consume? Is it reliable? Is it even accurate sometimes? It's like, imagine this huge online shouting match where everyone's just trying to be the loudest. The actual substance can get pretty lost.
Yeah, I can see that. And it goes further. You mentioned it talks about how reputation, identity, even public debate, how those things are fundamentally changing. Like, it's not just about your real world interactions anymore. It's this online performance that shapes perception. How does that impact, say, professional life or how we discuss serious topics?
Well, that leads to a really important question the book raises. How does all this affect truth and trust? Especially now in this era of the social star della porta accanto, the social stars next door. It's not like the old days, maybe, where reputation was built locally, slowly.
Hmm.
Now it's instant, global, judged by potentially millions. And when anyone can seem like an authority or, an influencer, figuring out who's actually credible, that becomes really, really tricky.
Right. So ultimately, it sounds like the insights from I commentatori della domenica are, well, pretty vital. A tool, maybe, for just making sense of this digital world we're all living in. It gives you a way to understand why platforms feel like they do, and maybe why we act the way we do on them.
Exactly. And it leaves you with a challenging thought, I think. If our digital selves are constantly shifting, constantly performing, what does being well-informed actually mean today? Especially with these social stars next door everywhere. How do you personally cut through the noise to get to something real?
So, yeah, what does this all mean for how you navigate your own digital life day to day? Something to definitely reflect on your own online habits, the kind of content you engage with,